Night falls. The city sleeps. But something stirs in the shadows. A low growl echoes through the concrete canyons. A flash of teeth, a scream swallowed by the night. In Mumbai, a leopard stalks the darkened alleys. In Florida, a crocodile glides silently through the canals. The concrete jungle has new predators. Humanity, for so long at the top of the food chain, faces an unsettling truth. We are no longer just the hunters. We have become the hunted. Urban wildlife conflict is on the rise. A terrifying collision of two worlds. Animals, driven from their natural habitats, are venturing into our cities and towns. What was once a rare occurrence is becoming increasingly common. The stories are chilling. In 2019, a leopard snatched a 2-year-old child from a home in Mumbai. The boy's remains were found later, a stark reminder of the danger lurking in the shadows. In 2018, a woman walking her dog in Florida was tragically killed by an alligator, dragged into the water before anyone could react. These are not isolated incidents. They are glimpses into a growing crisis. The rules have changed. We are no longer just visitors in the natural world. We have become residents of theirs, and the animals are making it clear. This is their territory too. The reasons behind this surge in urban wildlife conflict are complex, but one factor stands out: habitat loss. As cities sprawl and suburbs encroach further into the wilderness, we are pushing animals out of their homes. Forests are cleared for housing developments. Wetlands are drained for shopping malls. The wild spaces that once provided sanctuary for wildlife are disappearing at an alarming rate. This relentless expansion leaves animals with nowhere to go. The lucky ones find refuge in nature reserves or protected areas. But for many, the only option is to adapt or die. And so they are adapting, learning to live alongside humans in the most unlikely of places. Leopards prowl the outskirts of Mumbai, scavenging for food in garbage dumps. Crocodiles lurk in the canals and ponds of Florida suburbs, sharing space with swimming children and unsuspecting pets. They are drawn by the promise of easy prey and the shelter that cities can provide. This forced cohabitation is a recipe for disaster. As the lines between human and animal territories blur, encounters become inevitable. And when predator meets prey, the outcome is often tragic. In the sunshine state of Florida, a silent menace lurks beneath the surface of idyllic suburban life. Alligators, ancient reptiles with a prehistoric lineage, are reclaiming their watery domain. But this time, their hunting grounds are not remote swamps and rivers, but the manicured canals and artificial lakes of suburbia. These formidable predators, some exceeding 10 feet in length, are drawn to the easy pickings of urbanized waterways. Fish, turtles, and birds are abundant, but the alligators are not picky eaters. Pets, especially small dogs, have become a regular part of their diet. The consequences can be devastating. In 2016, a 2-year-old boy playing at the edge of a lagoon at a Disney World resort was snatched by an alligator. Despite a frantic search, his body was recovered the next day. The tragedy sent shockwaves through the community and served as a chilling reminder of the hidden dangers lurking beneath the surface. Florida's booming population and relentless development have only exacerbated the problem. As more homes are built along canals and waterways, encounters between humans and alligators become inevitable. The reptiles, once confined to the Everglades and remote swamps, are now regular visitors to backyards, golf courses, and even swimming pools. Mumbai, a bustling metropolis on the edge of Sanjay Gandhi National Park, faces a unique challenge. Leopards, these elusive predators, masters of camouflage and stealth, are increasingly venturing into the urban jungle, their presence a source of terror and fascination. Driven by shrinking habitats and dwindling prey, leopards have found an unexpected bounty in the city's sprawling slums and overcrowded neighborhoods. Stray dogs, rodents, and even livestock have become easy targets for these opportunistic hunters. The leopards, nocturnal by nature, have adapted to the rhythms of the city, becoming ghosts that vanish into the darkness before anyone realizes they were there. But their presence is far from benign. Attacks on humans, though relatively rare, are a constant threat. Children are particularly vulnerable, often targeted by leopards in the dead of night. The fear is palpable, a constant undercurrent in the life of Mumbai's residents. In 2010, a series of leopard attacks in Mumbai left 6 people dead and dozens injured. The city was gripped by panic. Schools were closed, streets were deserted after dark, and residents armed themselves with sticks and knives, desperate to protect themselves and their families. The attacks highlighted the growing conflict between humans and wildlife in one of the world's most densely populated cities. Section 5. Blood in the Water, the Crocodile's Revenge. The murky waters of the Ganges River in India hold a fearsome secret mugger crocodiles. These powerful reptiles, some reaching lengths of over 15 feet, have shared their domain with humans for centuries. But as urbanization spreads and human populations explode, the ancient pact between man and beast is being tested like never before. The Ganges, a sacred river to millions of Hindus, is also a lifeline for communities living along its banks. People bathe, wash clothes, and even fish in its waters, often unaware of the danger lurking beneath the surface. Mugger crocodiles, unlike their American counterparts, are known for their aggressive nature and have a fearsome reputation as man-eaters. Attacks are common, often with fatal consequences. In 2017, a young girl collecting water from the Ganges was dragged to her death by a crocodile in front of horrified onlookers. The incident sparked outrage and fear, highlighting the precarious balance between human life and wildlife conservation. The problem is compounded by poverty and a lack of awareness. Many people living along the Ganges rely on the river for their livelihood and have no choice but to risk their lives every day. Education and alternative sources of income are crucial to mitigating the conflict and ensuring the safety of both humans and crocodiles. The stories of human-wildlife conflict are often painted in stark terms: predator versus prey, man versus beast. But the reality is far more nuanced. These conflicts are not simply about animals behaving badly, they are a symptom of a much larger issue: our fractured relationship with the natural world. Conservation efforts are crucial to mitigating these conflicts and ensuring the survival of both humans and animals. Protecting and restoring habitat is paramount. Creating wildlife corridors, expanding protected areas, and promoting sustainable land use practices can help ensure that animals have space to roam free from human encroachment. Education and awareness campaigns are equally important. By understanding animal behavior, respecting their space, and taking appropriate precautions, humans can minimize the risk of encounters and learn to coexist peacefully. This includes securing garbage, keeping pets leashed, and avoiding areas where animals are known to frequent. Living alongside potentially dangerous animals requires vigilance and a healthy dose of respect. While encounters cannot always be avoided, there are steps we can take to minimize the risk and protect ourselves and our loved ones. First and foremost, knowledge is power. We must educate ourselves about the animals we share our communities with, their habits, their habitats, and the potential dangers they pose. This includes being aware of our surroundings, especially when venturing into areas where wildlife is known to roam. Secondly, we must take responsibility for our actions. Securing garbage, keeping pets leashed, and refraining from feeding wildlife are simple but effective ways to reduce the likelihood of encounters. Remember, we are the intruders in their world, and respecting their boundaries is essential for peaceful coexistence. Finally, we must be prepared to react appropriately should an encounter occur. Knowing what to do in case of an animal encounter, whether it's a coyote in the backyard or a crocodile in the canal, can mean the difference between life and death. The future of human-wildlife coexistence hinges on our ability to find common ground. We can no longer afford to view ourselves as separate from the natural world. Our actions have consequences, and ignoring the plight of animals will only lead to more conflict and suffering. Collaboration is key. Governments, conservation organizations, and local communities must work together to develop and implement effective strategies for managing wildlife populations and minimizing human-wildlife conflict. This includes finding innovative solutions for urban planning, waste management, and habitat restoration. We must also challenge our perceptions. Animals are not monsters to be feared, but rather creatures trying to survive in a world increasingly dominated by humans. By fostering empathy and understanding, we can begin to bridge the divide and create a future where both humans and wildlife can thrive. The challenges of human-wildlife coexistence are complex and multifaceted. But amidst the stories of conflict and tragedy, there is hope. Around the world, communities are finding innovative ways to live alongside wildlife, proving that peaceful coexistence is not an impossible dream. In Mumbai, local organizations are working to educate residents about leopard behavior and promote safe waste disposal practices. In Florida, wildlife officials are implementing proactive measures to manage alligator populations and reduce human-alligator encounters. And in communities around the world, people are coming together to protect and restore habitat, recognizing that the health of our planet depends on the well-being of all its inhabitants. The path forward will not be easy. It will require a fundamental shift in our thinking, a recognition that we are part of a complex and interconnected web of life. But by embracing coexistence, by choosing compassion over conflict, we can create a future where both humans and wildlife can thrive, not just survive. The time to act is now.